I'm Natalia Rosenbaum, and I want to introduce to you what this channel is all about. It's called To Self-Activate. And I want to talk about what that is, and then I'm going to teach a very short meditation that you can do anywhere, anytime, and no one will know that you are self-activating. So what is to self-activate, and why do I even use that language? For me, it's very powerful, the language to self-activate. It's an action that we take to activate something inside of us that is already there. So much of the time we are living in a reactive part of ourselves, the reactive personality. We are stressed, or we are functioning from subconscious patterns that are not even ours. And so that is not our true self. That is not the self. The self is a different part of us entirely that many of us have never been taught or trained how to access. And in order to access the self, the true self, that's sort of like, imagine it like the sun behind the clouds. It's always there, but how do we access it? Life makes it very, very difficult for us to access our true self. And so that's why we need powerful tools and practices in order to turn on the ability to have that sun shine through the clouds. How do we do it? Well, I use curated Kundalini techniques from the Kundalini yoga tradition that is very ancient, thousands of years old. We use primarily 4 ways to turn on this true self. It is through mantra, which is like sacred sound codes that activate the conscious part of the brain so that that conscious part of the brain is leading rather than the subconscious. We use breath practices that turn on the parasympathetic nervous system so that the parasympathetic is then regulating the sympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system that's always on. Well, we need to activate the parasympathetic so that it can kind of take care of the sympathetic nervous system, and we can feel more balanced and more calm and regulated and less stressed. We use movement. The movement puts us into sacred geometrical patterns that activate the dormant Kundalini energy that's inside of us, that's living at the base of the spine, that we've never activated, so we don't even turn it on, and it doesn't actually work for us because we've never tried to access it through movement. And meditation, which is a way to bring the mind constantly back to an object. And the object of meditation in this system could be a mantra and a breath, or a combination with a movement, with a hand position like a mudra. And so all of these things create a synergetic effect, and that synergy will really break patterns faster, in my experience, than even talk therapy. So I'm a therapist, and I've been in private practice for over 10 years working with individuals and couples. And when I integrate these practices into my work with clients, I see such dramatic transformational shifts that I've written a whole book about this. So that's a topic for another video, is that book. But who does To Self-Activate serve is an important question. The idea is that we use these practices on ourselves, and then if you happen to be a therapist, a healer, a coach, a leader, or a teacher, these practices beautifully help you serve your clients, your customers, your team. And when you teach them these practices, you can be a facilitator for them so that you can teach them like the practice that I'm about to teach you now. And you will watch in front of your eyes the people being able to access the parts of themselves that will help them to speak better in front of others, will help them lead each other, will help them stay out of stress, will help them communicate better, will help them break patterns in relationships so that they are more creative. All of these possibilities happen when you yourself learn how to self-activate, so that then you can be an effective leader, teacher, healer, and all of it has a ripple out effect. So if this sounds good to you, which it's sounding great to me, even as I say it, and I really know from within, my own story is that I had really been in a hard moment in my life when I found Kundalini Yoga, and my history is that I was in the Buddhist tradition for a long time. So I've always been a seeker, but when I found Kundalini Yoga, I noticed how quickly these practices work. And in a short amount of time, like a few minutes a day, there will be results. So let's get to the meditation that I want to teach. It's really not even a meditation. I just want to teach you a mantra. So I talked about mantra before as being like sacred sound codes. Think of it as like a sound healing session that you generate for yourself. So instead of laying down listening to like a sound healing gong bath, you are being a passive person in that situation. In what I'm about to teach, you are the active person. So you are the one that directs your mind toward the mantra. So using a mantra is a meditation on its own. Your mind may go away from the mantra. It might not actually want to stay on the object of meditation, which in this case is a mantra, and that's totally normal and okay. So the idea is that we try to engage the mind with the mantra. And in the beginning, it's just new. So you're not going to be fixated on it all the time. And even if you've been practicing it for years, the mind wants to go away. It doesn't want these healing shifts. It actually wants to stay stuck in the pattern that it's in. And that's totally normal and that's totally okay and nothing to worry about. You may be in a meditation session, let's say for 5 minutes, and like 4.9% of that, sorry about that. So let's say 95% of that time you spent wandering. But even if you brought yourself back just 2 times and you remembered the mantra and you brought yourself back and you returned to the mantra, that's starting to create a new pattern. So don't worry if it's hard at first, okay? That's really, really important. We're all so hard on ourselves. We're trained to be so hard on ourselves. And this is not an opportunity for you to feel bad about yourself for any reason. You should be so happy that you even found this video, that you have a chance to even learn these practices, because the world doesn't really want you to be amplified and effective. And if you're a leader, you really know just how people can be so hard on themselves, and they'll get in the way, they'll get in their own way of their creativity. So we want to activate our own creative potential, and then when we do that, we can help others to activate their creative potential. Okay, so I've said it again now, right? We're ready. I think we're ready for this practice. So I'm going to teach you this mantra, okay? It's very simple. It's Sat Nam. It's going to be in the caption of this video, so you can always return to that. But it's Sat Nam. S-A-T, Sat, N-A-M, Nam. Sat Nam. So we're going to pair the mantra with the breath. So we're just going to meditate. We're going to sit. We're going to have our eyes closed. And when we naturally breathe in, we'll say to ourselves, Sat. And when we naturally breathe out, we will say Nam. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. Closing the eyes, closing the mouth, focusing on this breath. Inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. If you can, through the eyes, through the closed eyes, focus up at the space in between the eyebrows. And inhale, Sat. Exhale, Nam. We'll do this for a couple minutes. Now inhale and exhale. And just assess yourself. Notice how you feel, if you got any space from some problems or challenges that you've been feeling. Just notice how that practice affected you. And that is just a little teaser of what is out there and available and what I teach. So if you are interested, follow and subscribe to my channel and like this video for more engagement, and watch some of the videos that are already there. I do some meditation and gong, and I'll be also doing some teachings, and specifically teachings not only for people that are looking to self-activate, but also for people who work with others and want to facilitate how to teach these practices. So if that is you and that sounds interesting to you, that you could facilitate these practices, definitely stay tuned, because I will be rolling out a membership program for leaders, healers, therapists, coaches, and anyone who works with people and wants to learn how to facilitate these practices. So like the practice I just taught, you can teach that. You can teach a lot of other practices. Whatever you feel you resonate with, you can teach, and I will be really creating a community of people who are doing this, and that's my passion. So stay tuned. You can go to my website to self-activate, plug in your email, and you will be on the list to get the discount for that membership. So super exciting, cannot wait to share it with you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a beautiful day, and Sat Nam.